Who called an Oscar the worst tasting carrot? Which actor thinks that the Academy Awards are the silliest thing ever? And whose point of view caused the biggest political drama ever seen at the Oscars? Hi, I'm Tim, and here's a list of actors who are against the most popular Hollywood award. Joaquin Phoenix. While the world anticipates whether Joker will bring Joaquin his first Oscar, the OSSA team discovered that the actor previously had a pretty brutal attitude towards the awards. Phoenix has been nominated 3 times before. First for his role in Gladiator, then 5 years later for Walk the Line, and lastly for Best Actor in The Master. But those nominations seem to mean nothing to the star. Moreover, all the attention and awards make him feel awkward. It was one of the most uncomfortable periods of my life, when Walk the Line was going through all the award stuff and all that. He said, "I never want to have to experience that again. I don't know how to explain it. And it's not like I'm in this place where I think I'm just above it, but I just don't ever want to get comfortable with that part of things." For better or for worse, but he did experience it once again, with the nomination for his role in The Master. Joaquin did attend the Oscars, but then he said the most unpleasant things about the awards. In fact, he called the Oscars total utter bullshit. More so, he compared one of the most prestigious awards in the world with the worst tasting carrot. "I don't want this carrot. It's totally subjective. Pitting people against each other, it's the stupidest thing in the whole world." Wow, that's harsh. But things seem to have changed a lot since then. We can clearly see that from his recent speech at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, where Joaquin received the award for his performance in Joker.
I was here many years ago, and I couldn't fully appreciate it at the time. I now realize how fortunate I am to be a part of this community.
Looks like Joaquin Phoenix is really appreciating the whole awards thing now. Will we hear his appreciation once again at the 2020 Oscar ceremony? Share your guesses in the comments. Woody Allen. The Hollywood legend missed the ceremony when he won not 1 but 3 Oscars for Annie Hall. He got it for the Best Actor, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Picture. So why didn't he attend the ceremony? Some say the director simply stayed home that night to watch basketball, while others are certain that he was playing a gig with his own band in New York City. The truth is, Woody Allen thinks that the Oscars are political, bought and negotiated for. More so, he calls the whole concept of awards a silly one. "I cannot abide by the judgment of other people, because if you accept them when they say you deserve an award, then you have to accept them when they say you don't." Despite that, he suddenly appeared at the Oscars in 2002. Why? Well, there's a story to that. Woody Allen was sitting at home when he received a phone call from the Motion Picture Academy Arts and Science. Woody immediately panicked as he thought the Academy wanted his Oscars back. When he realized that was not it, he thought that, well, maybe they called to apologize, since his movie from that year, The Curse of the Jade Scorpion, didn't receive any nominations at all. But when that also didn't appear to be the case, Woody finally found out the real reason for the call. Turns out that in view of the horrible events in New York on September 11th in 2001, the Academy wanted to pay tribute to movies that had been shot in New York over the years. And so, they chose Woody Allen to introduce the tribute. And Woody Allen, of course, accepted their request. But ever since, the Hollywood Master of Laughs still has no plans to attend any further ceremonies. Will Smith. The Men in Black star has earned a nomination for the Best Actor Oscar twice before. The first time for portraying the boxing legend Muhammad Ali, and 5 years later for his convincing performance in the famous movie The Pursuit of Happiness. And even though he attended the ceremony both times, he decided to stay at home during the 2016 Oscars. Together with his wife Jada Pinkett, Smith announced their boycott over the Academy Awards all-white nominee list that year. The actor explained his position. He stated that diversity is the American superpower, and that attending the Oscars, given the lack of it in 2016 nominated performers, would be awkward. At its best, Hollywood represents and creates the imagery for that beauty. But for my part, I think I have to protect and fight for the ideals that make our country and make our Hollywood community great, Smith stated. Although he did say that the nominated actors, who were all white, were fantastic, to Smith it still looked like the industry was moving in the wrong direction. If you remember, the Academy actually tried to hear Will Smith, and even though they could not change the nominees, they tried to make the situation better by welcoming an Afro-American host, Chris Rock. What are your thoughts on this controversial situation? As always, we will be glad to see your comments below. Anthony Hopkins.
And the Oscar goes to Anthony Hopkins in The Silence of the Lambs.
Hopkins holds the record of winning the Best Actor for his Hannibal in the shortest amount of screen time, only 16 minutes. He seemed to be very happy winning the award. In his acceptance speech, he noted that he is greatly honored and tremendously moved by the Academy Award. So what is Sir Anthony Hopkins doing on our list? You see, even though Hopkins got his own Oscar, he later revealed that awards make no difference. In an interview with Huffington Post, Hopkins was asked about his thoughts on the award season, and the actor said that he can't stand the Oscar buzz. I find it nauseating to watch, and I think it's disgusting to behold. People groveling around and kissing the backsides of famous producers and all that, it makes me want to throw up. It really does. Nevertheless, after that interview, Hopkins has attended the Oscars each time he's been nominated. And this year, we're about to see him at the ceremony once again, competing against Tom Hanks, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and Brad Pitt. Isn't that a little hypocritical? It's for you to decide. Marlon Brando. His story about rejecting an Oscar is a very infamous one. Brando first won an Oscar for the American crime drama film On the Waterfront and gladly accepted the statue. But things went differently when he won the Oscar for the second time for his portrayal of Vito Corleone in The Godfather. He didn't show up for the awards, and more so sent a Native American activist named Sasheen Littlefeather on his behalf. When the presenters announced that he'd won, she took the stage in traditional clothing and refused to accept the statuette. She explained that Brando very regretfully cannot accept this generous award. The reasons for this are the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry and on television and movie reruns. Halfway through Littlefeather's speech, audience members divided into those who booed and those who applauded. It was a tremendous incident for the Academy. Brando later explained his position to the New York Times, saying that the motion picture community has been as responsible as any for degrading the Indian and making a mockery of his character, describing him as savage, hostile, and evil. What do you think of Brando and all of the other actors who stood against the Oscars? Do you share their points of view? Let us know in the comments. And as always, thanks for staying awesome.